answered by Paul Turner and Paul Daniel. Here's Whitcomb starting a counter-attack for Newport, managing to find John Rawlins. Richie Collins leads the attack across the halfway line.
Good afternoon. Weekend rugby union and the weather set fair for Schweppes Cup rugby, the postponed quarter-final ties. Later in the programme we'll have action from the one between Maesteg and Bridgend and from the tie between Cardiff and Glamorgan Wanderers, but our main game is here this afternoon at Rodney Parade, and this is a result that Aberavon will be watching very carefully because their semi-final opponents will be the team which wins here, Newport or Swansea. Also this afternoon, news and views as usual, a meeting with the curator of Wales's most prestigious pitch, a visit to North Gwent, and a competition for you to try your luck at. First of all, though, the moments that matter here beside the Usk. Will Newport or Swansea march on? Mark Davis brings out a side in which he is one of 8 internationals, of whom 5 play behind the scrum, including Mark Titley and Robert Jones from the last Wales team. But Swansea have had some bad luck. Arthur Emir pulled out at the last minute with flu, and Ian Jeffries is his replacement. Paul Moriarty is an international in the pack. In the engine room, Maurice Colclough, who's due, of course, for a Paris trip next weekend with the England team. Mike Watkins and Newport, and that's a good-looking team that they put onto the field, with one of the crowd-pulling names at number 10, Paul Turner, re-established after his long injury in the autumn to play outside Nigel Callard. David Waters is chosen at number 8 to accommodate Andrew Perry at lock, and certainly Swansea could have their hands full up front. Well, there was no score in the game after 40 fairly dour sort of minutes. Newport were no doubt delighted to have reached half-time on terms before it was their turn to use the stiff breeze. The referee, Mr. Simmons from Taftswell. So 40 minutes between one of these teams and a place in the semi-final of the Schweppes Cup. Dropout 22 by Dacey. Whitcomb nearly got hold of it for Newport. Robert Jones plays the ball away to touch. Of course, the internationals, Phil, have had some rugby in the last few weeks, but a lot of the club players, I wonder if you see some signs of rust?
Yes, exactly. A lot of them have been dropping passes. We've seen them slip and fall, and all the training in the world can't compensate for playing match games.
That was a tremendous jump by Moriarty. He really got great height. Hopkins to Richards, a miss move, and Titley's out there and doing well to survive that very heavy tackle by Jason White, who had him in his sights. Mark Titley, who always tries to keep the ball alive, one of the great virtues of his play. Temi DeLine, Swansea. Mike Watkins throws short for Whitcomb. Newport try to spin the Swansea pack out of contention. Maurice Colclough, number 5, the big Englishman, rushing back to add his 18.5 stones at the vulnerable point. He goes down with John Williams of Swansea. And it's interesting to speculate now that John Perkins has called it a day from international rugby. John Williams, I suppose, would be one of the contenders for the place that'll be vacant. David Waters to Roger Powell. Good work by the back row. That's the third member of it. Richie Collins driving into the Swansea 22. John Whitcomb's close there. John Rawlins is too. It's sent back by Watkins. Turner will drop at goal. He's foozled it, but there's still danger for Swansea as Ian Jeffries is caught beneath the crossbar. Newport backs are all waiting. The Swansea defence is by no means reorganised, but there was no quick release. Still a great position for Newport. They'll be sorry not to have the put in at the scrum.
Richie Collins there doing ever so well when he set that ball up, but I think Paul Turner could have moved it because he had men outside.
Robert Jones had to be so quick. Dacey gets the clearance in. It's within reach of Ross Knight. In touch. So the crowd seeking to lift Newport. They can feel that the second half has begun with a good head of steam by the Black and Ambers. Paul Hitchings throws to a line within the 10-metre line of Swansea, quite close to the 22. Paul Moriarty trying to fight his way back and take Swansea upfield. The maul didn't go to ground, so the old rule applies. The side on the advance will get the put in at the set. Robert Jones puts it in. Paul Hitchings strike. Good covering by Jason White on the narrow side as the young scrum half went for the break. That's where all the noise is coming from, and that's where the Newport support hopes that their side can rattle Swansea and take the game to them. Widdicombe, a good take from Watkins' throw. Good smuggling. Waters, Callard. Jeffries closing in from the left. A mistake by Hopkins. Callard will put the kick in the first place. Waters. It's out with Pitt. And a tremendous try by Newport, scored by Mark Batten. That really was a fine try, and it's brought the crowd to their toes. Mark Batten puts Newport in front at Rodney Parade.
And just what this game needed, and Newport ever so strong up front. And just look, that was David Waters giving the ball. A lovely kick by Carter, and I think Titley takes his eye off the ball a second, drops the ball, out it comes, and just look who takes the ball here. It comes out, and there's David Waters, the number 8. Lovely handling, and there's the wing Batten coming in. Nobody's going to stop him. 10 metres to go, over for an excellent Newport try.
Try scorer, Mark Batten, the 25-year-old Newport right wing, a B cap a few seasons back. 4-0 to Newport with the 6 minutes, second half gone. David Waters starting the try off with his good delivery from the maul. The conversion attempt, a little too difficult for Turner. And a drop kick to restart, 4-0 to Newport. Now the onus is on Swansea. What can they produce? Dacey starts running. Tremendous break by him to Hopkins. John Williams, John the Pop they call him. The line out close to the Newport 10-metre line. Maurice Colclough gets high. Robert Jones is wrapped up by David Waters. They were teammates a week ago against France, but no mercy shown by the number 8 then to a little scrum half. Robert Jones, Newport's 10-metre line. Dacey, they miss Hopkins, that was Richards, and a real bit of sleight of hand. Back to Dacey. Now Swansea setting problems for Newport as Ian Jeffries starts running at Batten. It's over the head of Callard. The scrum half falls. Swansea go for the next phase. And Swansea have come back spiritedly since conceding the try. The scrimmage is well inside Newport's 22. Robert Jones waiting for the scrummage to stabilise. Pick up by Mark Davis. Robert Jones looks inside again. And good anticipation by the Newport back row as they picked up the Mark Davis on the move. In it goes. Good chance for Swansea now. Dummy to Hopkins. It's out with Richards. Richards sends it towards the corner flag, and it's dangerous as the wind halts it. Knight did well to be under it. He must release it, though, if he's not to be penalised. John Williams, number 4 for Swansea, drives towards the corner flag, where the touch flag rises. So Newport will be hoping that they're not going to pay the price here, relaxing after they scored the first try. That's their corner flag. Richie Collins, number 6, with Roger Powell, number 7, and number 3, Rhys Morgan. Tried to bring the ball away. Referee not happy with the throw. In the background, there's plenty of room for Swansea to develop a blindside move. The wing guarded by Jason White over there. How will Robert Jones use it? Beautiful pass to Dacey. Richards not quite in the right place. Paul Moriarty brought to earth by Richie Collins. A good tackle indeed. Trevor Cheeseman picks up. Swansea pack has raised its game a bit, and they're giving Newport as good as they've been getting. There's a bit more bite in the all-white forwards at the moment. So since they went into the 4-0 lead, Newport have had some uncomfortable pressure to endure, and they're within their 22 at the moment. They could do with a relieving kick if David Waters releases. Moriarty was not attached to the scrummage, and he's penalised. Turner's touch kick. Good support for Newport. The crowd really opening up, letting them have some support. But Swansea look as though they'll make this one their ball. It's out with Malcolm Dacey. David Richards, mismove to Hopkins. Beautiful timing by Titley, but Ian Jeffries puts a perfectly good pass on the deck. That could have been a scoring pass, Phil.
Yes, a beautiful run by Mark Titley, coming in from his wing, not content to stay there, and really again the last pass, the story of the game, and young Jeffries will be disappointed.
Interesting stage of the game, Phil Bennett, because I feel that one score by Newport would really depress Swansea's spirits.
Yes, but fair play to Swansea. Their pack have really come back in the second half, and they're giving Newport quite a tough time.
Paul Moriarty just getting hold of David Waters. The Newport pack closes in, and that's good concerted work to win the loose ball. He looks for support. It's there from Rhys Morgan. The 22 is just behind. Here's Callard. Big up and under. Robert Jones is back under it. Asks for a free kick. A brave catch by the little man. Absolutely in the right place to catch quite a testing chip ahead by his opposite number, Callard. And plays the ball to touch. "6'3" of him. But that still makes him 2 inches shorter than the man next to him, David Waters. Waters wins it. Widdicombe, number 4, is on the peel. That was Perry, and this is Callard, aiming for the corner flag. Beautifully done by the scrum half. So plenty of options open for Newport, close to the corner flag of Swansea. Colclough gets in the way, brings it down, and this time the penalty for barging goes in Swansea's favour. I suppose that Maurice Colclough can look forward to a tougher time in Paris in a week's time. Richard Bevan just finds touch. Throwing is taken very quickly, and Dacey does well to be there. I wonder if the referee will consider that he impeded him a little. Powell picks up the momentum. Turner starts running. He's taken by Mark Davis. He finds David Waters inside him. The play is just inside the Swansea 22. This is a great position for Newport, Phil Bennett.
Yes, let's look for Paul Turner maybe, or David Waters in the back row. Here you go.
Callard, a little chip to be chased by Ross Knight. Tremendously dangerous for Swansea, but Ian Jeffries is just there first, the Swansea left wing. And the referee's awarded a penalty for perhaps obstruction of some kind against Newport. Swansea using the possession they've unexpectedly got hold of. Here's Titley. Well taken indeed by Jason White. Robert Jones couldn't take the inside pass. Roger Powell is over there to make the ball safe. So the advantage lying with Newport. They're leading by 4-0. But they haven't really been able to make the game safe yet and get away from their dogged opponents. 18 minutes left at Rodney Parade. The afternoon, a brilliant one, and Wales glad to have its club rugby restored after the Arctic weeks we've been through. David Waters, who's played such a dominant role in the Newport back row, finding Powell and Richie Collins close to the Swansea 22. Well, the referee deciding that Newport had dropped the ball, or a Newport player had gone down. The Swansea will have the put-in at the scrum. Newport three-quarters, David Pitt, Paul Daniel in the foreground, eager to close in on their opposite numbers and prevent any suggestion of a counter-attack being developed from this 22. But Kevin Hopkins got clear, just enough room to pick up to halfway, where Ross Knight drops for goal. Well off target, falls to Richard Bevan. Touch. Can these hard-pressed Swansea forwards take a bit of possession away from Newport to try and enable their side to claw their way back into the game? John Widdicombe and Mike Watkins make sure they can't. It's out with Turner. It's over the head of Jeffries. He has Richard Bevan in attendance. He's got the touchline in his sights. Newport playing it very tight at the moment and making it very difficult for Swansea to develop the counter-attacks they would like to. That's the score. Newport in the lead by an unconverted try to nil with just 16 minutes left. John Williams trying to tear his way clear of the attentions of Andrew Perry. Releases. Dacey. Kevin Hopkins wonders where David Richards is. Swansea trying to get some three-quarter strength out of Newport's reach. The ball knocked down by Mike Watkins. The referee considering that it had gone forward. The scrum just within Swansea's 10-metre line. Callard waits for David Waters to release it. Moriarty is guarding him. Richie Collins comes to help. Swansea do well to break up a threatening Newport move.
Newport have been very solid in the set scrum and have tried to take Swansea on in the back row, but you've got to pay credit to Swansea. They've tackled very well, and as we see now, they've stopped the movement and they've even taken the put in.
Robert Jones is input, 15 metres in from touch, just behind the Swansea 10-metre line. Dacey's kick is charged down by the tireless Richie Collins, who was trying to bob it up to Paul Daniel just behind him. There was a knock-on, but Collins did so well. The man on the left, or just out of sight now. Swansea 8 relying on guts now. They must be very weary, Phil.
Yes, I would have thought that Newport would dominate the last quarter now because of their sheer strength. But they are hanging on in there, and they're looking for just one good clean possession to set their backs free.
Robert Jones bobs around, finds Dacey. Dacey's just outside Collins. Tremendous dummy too. He's got Richards inside him if he needs him. He's being chased by Knight. The ball is still alive. Tremendous danger for Newport as it bounces over the line. Turner's back. The referee awards the try. Turner's telling him he thinks he got the first pressure on it. But Robert Jones has been awarded a dramatic try at Rodney Parade. Paul Turner will be bitterly disappointed, but Swansea will be thrilled.
And this is the sort of possession Swansea were dreaming of. They go back in the scrum, but they're willing to run the ball, and just look for this break by Malcolm Dacey. The gap appears, and he puts his head back and dummies brilliantly through there. Looking for support either way, but it's been cut off. There's Titley on the outside. Now what a kick. He sees that there's men inside. Now this is very vital. Paul Turner's go back. Let's look at it closely. Does he get a hand to touch the ball? It's going loose. He dives. I think he misses the ball. The referee's on the spot, and there's Robert Jones there for the try. And here's the last moment or two of that movement. Dacey being cut off, kicks ahead. Good enterprising play by Dacey, but let's look carefully now. There's Paul Turner covering well as a fly half. It's an awkward bounce. He's going to dive there any second. Does he get any pressure? No, I think he misses the ball, and there's Robert Jones. But look at where the referee is ideally placed to award the try.
The conversion not a success though, so the score is tied with 12 minutes remaining. In the event of a tie, there'll be some extra time. Cheeseman wins well. John Williams takes up the running for Swansea. It's with Dacey. Over the head of Mark Batten. And Newport being forced to drop out 22. Swansea feeling that that'll give them a good chance of reclaiming possession. A drop out 22 for Newport by Paul Turner. Now, who's got the finish in this game? Will it be Newport, for whom Richie Collins has never stopped running all afternoon? Roger Powell takes up the running. The play arrives at the halfway line. It's well rucked indeed by Newport. Turner goes away with Jason White outside him, right as far as the Swansea line, and Richard Bevan plays the ball into touch. The touch judge has summoned the referee for a conference.
And here's Turner taking that after that tremendous charge by Collins. He looks to kick ahead. There he kicks. And I think he just ran into Mark Davis there. And the touch judge who was on that side didn't put his flag up, so the Newport crowd incensed, but I didn't see any infringement there.
Well, indeed, after consultations with the touch judge, the referee has awarded a penalty. He feels that the challenge was late and it was illegal. And a mark is being made by Turner to kick at goal from something approaching 40 metres. Of course, with the late tackle, one expects the penalty normally to be given where the ball next landed or was played. But this one has been given out on the scene of the challenge, which means that Turner is kicking from close on 40 metres. But it could decide the game. How is it travelling? It's a fine kick. It's 3 points for Newport. So having failed to make the ball dead at the other end of the field and perhaps giving Swansea a try on a plate, Paul Turner makes amends with a final penalty kick to put Newport back into the lead at 7 points to 4. Only 5 minutes left now. Newport leading at Rodney Parade 7-4. Moriarty slips it away to Robert Jones. David Richards takes up the running. Mistake between him and Hopkins. Was that a knock-on by Jeffries? The referee says no. Mike Watkins can't stop him. Turner can't prevent him getting in the pass. It goes away again to Kevin Hopkins, but the play stops at that point. Forward pass by Swansea. A little chapter of mistakes and jersey pulling then. The scrimmage is almost midfield. Waters the pickup to draw Moriarty and supply Callard with a pass. Ross Knight gets into the line almost for the first time. Batten is there. He supplies Roger Powell. Richie Collins is there too. His was the decoy run. Watkins spins it back. Paul Turner has it. It goes to Daniel. Now Pitt. Now Knight is back on his feet on the far side of the field. How did he get there? This is Paul Daniel attacking the Swansea 22. He's held by Malcolm Dacey. Newport swarmed to the scene, hungry for the loose ball. The referee's whistle goal. Newport really throwing everything in this attempt to get clear of Swansea, and all credit to the Swansea defence for holding up all those attacks.
And I'm sure we'll be looking here, David, to see Paul Turner pop a drop goal over to make the game safe.
Callard goes away, looks inside, finds Roger Powell. The tireless 3 back row forwards are there. This is Turner. Will he drop at goal? He prefers to run at the Swansea back row. And you clearly saw the head-high tackle, and the penalty goes against the Swansea captain.
There's never a dull moment with this man Turner involved. He's got all the time in the world to drop a goal, but he sidesteps, goes to the inside, and there's the high tackle that nearly takes his head off.
The crowd falls silent. Turner's kick. Yes, Newport are up to 10-4. They're not quite out of sight because a converted try by Swansea would still tie the scores at the end of 80 minutes, but that's more encouragement for black and amber. The 22 line of Newport. The ball aimed for Paul Moriarty. John Williams on the peel, appearing to pass the ball from the ground after a tackle. The referee satisfied to award a scrum for an infringement with a hand. Seconds ticking away in injury time. Newport will be wanting Turner to bang the ball upfield. It's over the head of Ian Jeffries and out of the reach of Richard Bevan. And that's what his captain will have been hoping for from Paul Turner. So it's been good entertainment for the big crowd at Rodney Parade, and it's still not over as Hitchens tries to work the play upfield. Paul Moriarty joins in. Malcolm Dacey starts running. Swansea are going down fighting, if they're going down at all. A knock-on by Collins. The referee seeing whether Swansea can get some advantage. And finally he feels he stops the play, and he stops the game. Mike Watkins has led Newport to the semi-finals with this narrow victory over Swansea at Rodney Parade by 10 points to 4. A good game, and the Newport pack just about gave them the victory. A try to each side, and Turner's kicks the difference between them. 10-4 to black and amber. So general delight this weekend in Newport. Of course, this afternoon there have been 2 other semi-finals. 2 and a mistake by Batten, from which Turner recovers. Touch flag.